Greetings. My name is Luis Molina, and I'm the host of the Life Puro podcast, a weekly podcast aimed at delving into the finer aspects of life. So today we're going to kind of give a recap, maybe like a mid-year recap, since we just passed the summer solstice and astronomically speaking, we're in summer. So I thought it'd be appropriate to give an update of the industry up to this point in the year and review a new arrival that we just received from Tatuaje. So I guess what I'll do is just cut and light, smoke it, and maybe give my review at the end of the episode, my final assessment, and in the meantime, give you some details of what's been going on in the industry, what kind of shop news has occurred, and a little bit about that, since this will be a solo episode today and basically a little bit more focused on the industry. So with that, I'm going to unwrap this cigar, uncello it, and I'm going to use a double blade cutter. It's one of our Wiesel Stanford cutters. Very nice too, because it has a this little like ridge in it that allows you to set the cutter on the table and put your cigar on top of the cutter, so you can be a little more sanitary, especially if you're in maybe a public space that maybe doesn't have an ashtray. It's kind of rare to find ashtrays nowadays in public spaces or bars, since especially you can't smoke in a lot of spots. And I'm going to use one of our Habana Port cigar matches, a little bit longer, so you don't have to rush and try to light your cigar. No pressure. With a lot of the shorter matches, you don't have that much time to light the cigar, since, the diameter of the object itself, it's a little bit larger than a cigarette. So of course it takes a little bit longer to light if you're going to go the match route. So yeah, just to kind of repeat, I'll give you the background of this cigar before I give you my assessment of like the tasting profile or the flavor profile. So it's the newest blend from Surrogates called Closing Time. It is the newest release from Surrogates. I think it's a Nicaraguan Corojo 99 shade grown wrapper. Let me just look that up to verify. Yep, Nicaraguan Corojo 99 shade grown wrapper, and it's got that's the wrapper, and it's covering a filler mix of tobacco sourced from Nicaragua, Mexico, and the U.S. It's a 6x50, and apparently it was a blend that the brand founder, Dan Welsh, had come up with. It's a blend that he likes to smoke right before bedtime, as the name insinuates. So kind of a good nightcap cigar, I think, is the origin of the philosophy of this blend. So just had to touch it up a bit, and yeah, I'll just smoke it and kind of give you new updates. So yeah, like I said, we've been getting a lot of new cigars. The big industry trade show was in March, and that's a little unusual because historically, you've probably heard on the podcast, it was usually held in July, maybe August, but mostly July. And so, it was a summertime trade show. The industry decided to move it to the spring, I guess to, change the timing, I guess maybe to help some other retailers around the country that maybe it was a bit too difficult for them to make it during the summer. So that's going to throw a little disruption into the, the sales for cigar manufacturers this year. A lot of people I've talked to thus far, reps or other insiders, unanimously have said that sales are up for cigar companies year to date, but that's because the trade show has moved up earlier in the year, and so they're expecting a lot of, a fall off in July and August, when they would typically rely on the injection of orders from the trade show. So since that has passed, that seems to be the anticipation going forward. And somewhat kind of projected that or assumed that a lot of the companies would start offering these summertime show deals or summertime deals to make up for the lack of a trade show in July. So we're already seeing that. Several manufacturers have already emailed some specials or have announced that, look, just hold off. We're going to offer some good incentives for shops to make these purchases in the next few weeks. So, yeah, expect to maybe even see updates or announcements of new lines, although I guess a lot of them have typically done that or have at least already showcased some of the new arrivals for this year at the trade show in March. So, and we're starting to see a lot of these new arrivals, this surrogate's closing time included. And along with that, Tatuaje, we just received their newest blends from the Kahonu 2012 series. So if you're not familiar with the Tatuaje Kahonu, that was a line that I think the first vintage was in 2003. I can't remember, but it was a line that would be kind of released every 3 years. So there's I think a 2015, a 2018, the 2012. And so this 2012 line has been added. Like there's been an extension to that particular line with the addition of a wrapper from San Andreas. So they call it the Tuxla or Tuxla. It has a secondary green band. And then there is a newer, another one that is a Corojo wrapper. That's kind of unique. And so there's several different new line extensions to that. They also released a special edition, like book looking box. So I think that one has 2 wrappers in it. It's that Tuxla, as I mentioned, and the cigars are packaged in a box that looks like a book. It's pretty cool. Like when you open it, it looks like a book. It opens up. And that was done, I think, years ago in another edition. So I forget the year on that, but that may have been 2012 when they first did the book releases. But this is a new book release, I guess, the second edition to account for these 2 new wrappers. So that's if you're a Tatuaje fan, that's kind of exciting news right now that of these new releases. You can also find these at our online store at shop.habanaport.com. So if you can't find it in your local shop, we offer them online and we'll ship it around the country. Another bit of news in the cigar world is the announcement from Crown Heads of the latest Las Calaveras vintage. So for people who don't know, Las Calaveras is an annual release that usually around, I think, May or June is when they try to target this year. Of course, will be a little bit different, release a little bit later. But our rep about 2 weeks ago had asked us for our Las Calaveras request. This year, though, it's different because they're celebrating the 10th anniversary of the brand. So there's the typical annual release that they call the limited edition. It's from 2024. As I sip some of my espresso. And then the second is a new kind of strategy that Crown Heads is implementing. It's going to be called the Décimo Aniversario, which means 10th anniversary. So this is a whole separate, different blend. It's going to be a lot more limited. And we had to, stores in order to qualify for this 10th anniversary version, and we'll put a picture on our YouTube and Spotify versions of this episode so you can kind of see it. It's really cool. It's different packaging than just the typical Las Calaveras LEs. And it's one blend, and it's extremely limited. We had to buy X amount of the regular limited editions to get Y amount of this 10th anniversary. So I'm just going to read the press release from Crown Heads so you can know the details straight from the company, not just hear it from me. Yeah, so here it is. Crown heads, and this was emailed to us, like I said, 2 weeks ago, I think around June 12th, 2024. So here's a press release. Crown Heads is excited to announce the release of Las Calaveras 2024 and Las Calaveras Décimo Aniversario. The Las Calaveras EL 2024 is being produced in 3 size vitolas. This year we chose to utilize a Rosado Mexicano, in quotes, hot pink, band, which is highly popular in Dia de los Muertos celebrations. There's a 6x48, 5x52, and a 6x54. And each of those vitolas, just like knows, they're producing 1,500 24 count boxes. And the retail MSRPs before excise tax states is $13.95, $14.95, and $15.95 respectively, as well as a 4-cigar LC24 sampler, which includes one of each vitola and a special 5.5 by 52 Bellicoso Fino, limited to 3,000 samplers. And that retail MSRP is going to go for $56.95. In addition to these eagerly anticipated Las Calaveras EL 2024s, we are proud to announce Las Calaveras Décimo Aniversario is a special limited edition release created to commemorate the 10th anniversary of Las Calaveras, which debuted in 2014. The box imagery is inspired by the Mexican folk art of paper cutting called papel picado. Many of these artisans design these paper sheets around Dia de los Muertos and are hung around ofrendas, which the translation is offerings. And so then they discuss to the retailers how to qualify to get these cigars. These 10-count boxes are limited to the first 2,500 boxes. Wait. These 10-count boxes, there's 2,500. I guess there's a mistypo. So it looks like there's 2,500 boxes of those 10th anniversaries, and they have a retail MSRP of $18.95 per cigar. But like I said, these are the MSRPs. Anytime we talk about MSRPs, typically in the show, it's quoting what the prices you would find in a non-excise tax state. So say like Texas for the most part, because they only have a penny a stick. New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, and Florida. So those are like the cheapest states, I guess, in which cigars are sold, because the excise taxes are either nil or non-existent or really low. So yeah, that's kind of the information we got, the email we got from the company a few weeks ago about this cigar. So we're looking forward to that one. And I don't think I saw the anatomy. Or did I miss that? So it looks like, yeah, they're typically made at the My Father's Cigar Factory. Let me see online if there's any other information about some of the anatomy. Let's see. Okay, so the EL24, that's the annual vintage. It's a Nicaraguan Puro, topped with Habana wrapper. And okay, expected to ship in late June or early July. So I guess any week now. And that 10th anniversary, like I said, is a 6x52. I know the email said that, but it implements a Ecuador Habano Oscuro wrapper over a Nicaraguan binder and Nicaraguan fillers. And still crafted at the My Father's Cigar Factory, Nicaragua. So yeah, look for that to be a big hit or something that's sought after. From fans, cigar enthusiasts in the next few weeks. Typically, what we'll do, and you've probably heard me mention this in previous podcasts, the way that we personally at Habana Port offer a lot of these limited editions or like really allocated offerings is not typically just to sell them, a la carte. That's only available for our private club members, our locker members, But what we'll typically do is bundle these cigars with, other crown heads or other manufacturer core items. But in this example, we had to buy X amount of the Las Calaveras to get Y amount of the 10th anniversary. So we'll implement something, similar. So we'll probably come up with our own samplers. We don't know what it is yet. So people can try this 10th anniversary because it's so limited, and the only way we can qualify is to buy others. So we felt it's only fair to implement that to the end consumer. I know a lot of shops don't do that. They'll just sell, first come, first serve, and that's fine. But we want to make sure we don't get stuck with maybe another line that isn't really as sought after. So we don't want to sit on that money and just inventory. So we want to try to bundle it all together. And that's a constant, topic we'll discuss on the show, about allocated items and, how to sell and distribute them. And I know that typically it's end consumers that don't understand the requirements that retailers are put up with, for the manufacturers of, qualifying for some of these allocated cigars. So we felt that in order to make it equal, or at least to help us out, is just basically put in some of the same conditions onto the end consumer that the manufacturer does on us, the retailer. So anyway, that's going to be a cigar to be on the lookout for this summer. It hasn't hit shops yet, but one that has hit the streets is the latest brand from Alec Bradley. So as you probably know, if you follow industry news, Alec Bradley was acquired by Forged Cigars, which is a subsidiary of STG, or Scandinavian Tobacco Group. And basically it's an offshoot of General Cigar for people who maybe are more familiar with that company. So, like I said, Alec Bradley was purchased by Forged, or at least STG, and being distributed through Forged Cigar Company. And I think this new release called the Safekeepings is perhaps the first cigar under the STG ownership. So I'm just going to read you, let's see, the email that we got from Forged discussing the details of the Safekeepings. So let me just pull that up. And I haven't smoked it yet, but I think I'll be trying that out tonight. So let's see. Let me look that up. Okay, here it is. So, introducing the highly anticipated Alec Bradley Safekeepings, a cigar that stands as a testament to timeless craftsmanship and the art of the blend. Just like a chef perfecting a recipe, Alec Bradley has unearthed a forgotten gem from the founder's blend book, bringing back to life a cigar blend that promises an unparalleled experience. So here are some of the key points of the Safekeepings. Heritage and excellence. This cigar is a rediscovered recipe, meticulously crafted using Nicaraguan leaves from the renowned fields of Esteli, Condega, and Jalapa. Unmatched quality. Safekeepings is a medium to full-bodied puro, delivering an exquisite blend of pepper, spice, and cocoa, ensuring a rich and satisfying smoke. Premium construction. Featuring a Habano wrapper and binder from Nicaragua and a filler blend of Jalapa, Condega, and Esteli Criollo 98, each cigar promises consistent quality and flavor. And finally, crafted by experts. Made at the prestigious Oliva factory in Nicaragua, known for its dedication to quality and craftsmanship. So let's see, going back down a bit, some of the other points. Yeah, we basically went over that. A unique blend from Alec Bradley Founder's Blend Book. So yeah, it's an all Nicaraguan blend. Oh, and they talk about the sizes available. There's a Corona that's 5 3/8 by 46, a Robusto that measures 5 by 52, a Toro that's 6 by 52, and a Gordo that's 6 by 60. Yeah, you're not really seeing Churchill Vitolas anymore, at least initially. Uh, the length range is somewhere in the 5 to 6 inch length for, I guess, the market preference right now. And let's see, these cigars are priced MSRPs before excise taxes, of course. Corona is $10.49, Robusto is $12.29, Toro is $13.89, and the Gordo is $15.19. So that's probably in keeping with what is kind of like your middle price point right now after the inflationary rates of the last few years. And so, yep, it's already ready. We just got it. I have mine ready for tonight, so I'm excited about that. We'll see how that one pans out. The band's kind of interesting. It's has like these stairs going up, and there's like the background of space and the moon. So kind of a little surreal, I guess, imagery. So, but yeah, the fact that it's made at, I think the big key points for this one is it's all Nicaraguan and it's made at Oliva. So definitely, I think, worth considering, and something that or a blend that supposedly that was in their blend book, which a lot of people or a lot of manufacturers have these, I guess, journals or these records of blends, like their recipe, these blend books that they'll maintain. So as that's one of the things in the industry, just kind of like with, I guess, spirits, or even in other like culinary ventures, the R&D component of it, these chefs, these blenders, these artisans will kind of play with different blends or recipes and see what works, what doesn't. But a lot of them will keep records, and some of them get lost. I mean, not lost, but maybe just kind of kept but never used. But then others maybe will be revisited back. So I've heard that from other manufacturers as kind of a strategy with releasing and developing new blends. So that's already available and in our stores and in shops around the country. And the other one that just hit the market and hit our shops is this year's La Roma de Cuba Noblesse. So for those not familiar, the Noblesse is essentially the top end line for La Roma de Cuba, which is a brand owned by Ashton and made at the My Father Cigar Factory. So another My Father cigar, I didn't even consider that. You have this Tatuaya, the Crown Heads, and now this La Roma de Cuba Noblesse, all made at the My Father Cigar Factory. And I don't know if we have discussed it in a previous episode, but we received also the new Wise Man cigars. That's from Foundation Cigar, formerly known as El Guguense, which was their first line. And they just, I guess maybe a few months ago, maybe 2 months now, they re-released or maybe released a new blend, a new version of the Wise Man. So they discontinued the Aganorsa made El Guguenses and now have reblended, redesigned, rebranded essentially this now that's being called the Wise Man, and it's made for them by the My Father Cigar Factory. So yeah, My Father Cigars is doing a lot of contract blends. It seems a little bit more than usual. So just trying to find the information for the Noblesse, because this year Noblesse we haven't seen it in a few years. It's a high-end brand from them, like from La Roma, as I mentioned. But this year the Noblesse is packaged in kind of a different color scheme. It's more of a purple, kind of lavender look. So yeah, totally different than from years past in terms of the color schemes and kind of the packaging. But here is the information regarding the 2024 iteration of Noblesse. And I'm still not sure if this is going to be an annual release or a one and done. I didn't really get clarification on that. But at least for the time being, this purple band, we're calling it this lavender noblesse, marks the 2024 iteration of it. So let's see, to go back to their press release. Okay, the rebirth of La Roma de Cuba Noblesse arrives in 2024. It's been reblended by award-winning father and son cigar makers Jose Pepin Garcia and Jaime Garcia. This rare and exclusive masterpiece comes in stunning new packaging in 4 flawless sizes, handcrafted by skilled artisans at Pepin's world-renowned factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. A dark and lustrous San Andres Oscuro wrapper leaf shimmers over coveted reserves of the finest premium Nicaraguan tobaccos cultivated on Garcia family estates in Esteli, Jalapa, and Namanji. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing that. Every leaf of wrapper, binder, and filler harvested for Noblesse matures during a patient triple fermentation to achieve optimal flavor and aroma. Noblesse is meticulously rolled in entubado fashion and finished with a traditional Cuban-style triple cap. Luxurious notes of dark chocolate lava cake, espresso bean, and Turkish fig emanate throughout a voluptuous, full-bodied smoke with accents of Himalayan pink salt and black peppercorn. This is the company press release, not my words. Savor the hallmarks of heritage from one of today's greatest cigar-making families in an opulent blend, aged to resonate gracefully from the first draw to the finish. And these are also available in boxes of 24. And so, yeah, there's 4 different vitolas. So that's the end of the kind of the press release or the company information. As I relight my cigar, I keep forgetting I got a puff on this cigar. I'm talking too much. Well, let's go over the vitolas. So there is the Noblesse Coronation, which is their Toro. It's a 6x52. There is the Monarchy, which is a 6.5x56. The Regency is a Robusto, essentially. It's a 5.5x50. And the Viceroy is a Torpedo that measures 6 1/8 inches by 52. And at least, I don't know what the MSRPs are, but in our stores with the Louisiana excise tax, they're around $20 a piece. So it's definitely a more of an upper end price point, and one that a lot of La Roma de Cuba fans look forward to. Like I said, we haven't seen the Noblesse released in a few years. I don't know when the last time was. Maybe 3-4 years ago. Maybe. I'll have to get some clarification on that. But this is the newest release. So we just got it, I think, last week. And we've been selling quite a bit. You can find them on our e-commerce site at shop.habanaport.com if you're interested. So if you just want to buy one single, we sell just singles. And if you want to buy a box, while we have them, we got them by the box as well. Our website, just to give clarification for anyone who's a recent shopper, we don't actually list like whether you want to buy a box. You'd have to select, if you wanted a full box of a particular cigar, you would just choose whatever the box count is. So let's say, like for these, they normally come, if you want a sealed box, they're 24 count. So you would just have to select 24 singles at checkout. And I think that one would qualify for a discount. Anytime you buy 20 cigars or more, you'll get a 10% discount automatically applied at checkout. With the exception of lines like Opus, Mirtfell, Davidoff, and the Aganorsa Supreme. So those are the only ones that don't qualify for that discount. But most everything else, yeah, if you buy any 20 singles, you can mix and match. You'll get that 10% break at checkout. So that's kind of our strategy with discounting, and that applies typically in our stores as well. So yeah, if you're a Pepin Garcia fan or / My Father Cigar Factory fan, La Roma de Cuba fan, this is one to at least try. They also released this really nice ashtray. It's very traditional. It's kind of like your round 4 cigar holder ashtray, and it has the La Roma de Cuba uh, font and logo, but it's also colored in that lavender kind of purple color. So I've never seen an ashtray in that color scheme. So very beautiful. I think those we have at I think $45. Let me see, $49.95. And there's also a 4-count sampler that is packaged also in that lavender case or lavender colored, and it comes with one each of the Vitolas, but there is also a limited edition ST DuPont lighter, also in that color scheme and with the logo. So for those who are fans of the Noblesse and ST DuPonts, that's a pretty cool gift set. And those we have for sale at $399.99. And I forgot what the amounts were that they released, but it was a limited run, and once they sell out, that will be it. So we have a few listed in store. I don't know if we have that online, but one thing I do recommend to new clients visiting, especially our online store, is if you have a question about anything, we make it easy. There's a chat box at the bottom right corner of the website, and you can just type in a question and you'll get an answer, sometimes right away. But we try to do it at least, that same day, and we'll respond to you. What we like to let our clients know is if there is something you're looking for and you don't see it after you do a search in our website, just ask us. Just send a question via that chat box, and we'll let you know if we have it. Even if it says out of stock, just ask, because sometimes we actually have it in one of our store locations. We just don't have it in the inventory for our e-commerce site. So you'd be surprised. Sometimes you'll find one of these out of stock or rare cigars, and we actually have it, and we'll list it for you. So it doesn't hurt to ask. Especially if you're looking for something that's not listed, we might actually have it, because we're a small business still. We don't have a team of this huge warehouse like the Amazon fulfillment centers and other big e-commerce retailers. It's just a few people. It's me and my family. So it's an undertaking, and we're trying to connect the inventory within our stores to the online portal as well. So you can see like the live inventory, but it's I think we have over 12,000 SKUs in our system last I checked. A lot of them are inactive, but we've had over that amount. So that's, for basically a few people managing that, it's kind of an undertaking of management. So I mentioned, that if you are looking for something, just send us a chat through that box. Okay, so we got, I think, some of the major cigars I wanted to talk about. As far as new releases, I feel like we got more. Oh, I didn't even bring up the info on this. The AJ Fernandez Diaz de Gloria, the Brazil. So that's, AJ Fernandez, very well-known Nicaraguan cigar manufacturer. He has a brand called Diaz de Gloria. And I think the original was a Habano, Nicaraguan Habano. Let me look that up, because we've carried that. But this new one actually implements a Brazilian Maduro. The strain is called Mata Fina. So anytime you see that term, the original, the old Diaz de Gloria, which we still have, it's Nicaraguan Habano wrapper. But this new one, the Diaz de Gloria Brazil, is basically a Maduro. And the leaf is from Brazil, like I said. I smoked it. It was really very complex, but not as like overpowering as you would expect from, especially, that kind of a dark wrapper. Still kind of very rounded, very smooth. And I'd say maybe strength wise, like maybe a medium plus. And it has, like an initial spice to it. Definitely more of like a dark kind of espresso or like dark note of a flavor profile, but still very smooth. Yeah, I'd say it's like a solid 3.5 out of 5 in terms of strength. It's not overpowering at all. Maybe 4, but to me, it's really smooth. I think people, when they look at cigars like that, with the color of the wrapper, they just automatically assume, oh, it's going to be a powerhouse, and it's not in terms of the strength. It's not going to deliver that nicotine kick, but it is very complex in flavor, but not strength. So definitely worth checking out. They have that in 4 sizes. I think I smoked the Torpedo, which they call a Figurado, I believe. So the Brazil, yeah, it's a Figurado. It's a 6.5 by 52. Here in store, it retails for $17.25. And so that's another one that just hit the market a few weeks ago, and we have, so definitely worth trying out. And then the last bit of news of new releases that I want to kind of showcase is what you can see here on the table. It's an accessory, a new accessories vendor or brand that we just brought in. So many of you who, especially our cigar nerds, know about this brand. It's a French company called, and I had to ask for clarification on the pronunciation because I don't want to butcher it, but it's a French company. It's Les Fines Lames. The rep just says, I just call it LFL, just to shorten it and make it easy. But Les Fines Lames is the name of the company. They really made a splash, I think 2019 was when they first came out, maybe a little bit older. And they were known for this cigar knife, essentially. It's a cutter that, it's uniquely like a pocket knife. And I'm going to pull one up here to show on the screen, and you'll see better close-up pictures. But it's a foldable knife. It's got this little piece that allows you to easily open it up, and it's designed with this notch in the center, this like hole where you would insert the cigar, and then you would get it ready aligned, and then just with a stroke, it's really sharp too. Smoothly cuts that cap off. But yeah, beautiful piece. The French are really known for knife making. So there's one brand I forget. I'm not really a knife guy, but I've seen this brand. I know it has like a logo. It looks like of a bee. But that's I know kind of a legendary French cutlery company. But what's cool about this brand, besides the craftsmanship and the quality, are the different finishes. So like this one is part of what they call their classic series, and the wood is called a king wood. We have one that's called and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it, padauk wood. There's a snake wood. So these are from the company. This is part of their press release. The classic is the brand's timeless bestsellers. Noble materials and wood species appreciated by aficionados and blade lovers. They form the heart of the range and attract new customers. But yeah, they have quite an extensive portfolio of these, what's called Les Petites cigar knives. And yeah, they have one I know we have in store called the Gunstock Walnut Burl. I mean, that's beautiful. It looks like what it says. It's like a gunstock. Another piece with like bird's eye grain that they call acacia burl. There's one that's made of olive wood. That's really beautiful. We have that. If you want just more simplicity, there's one that's just all black called ebony. And these we have it at MSRP. So let me see what the prices of these knives are. Should have had that ready. Depends on the finish too. Like they'll range. They have some of like your introductory pieces, others that are a little bit even more higher end. But yeah, they're 159 that we have in store, or if, like this one, that's called the USA Dark Wood Finish. Has like the American flag. That one's 169. So these aren't cheap pieces, but you are getting what you pay for with this cigar accessory. It's really quality. Like I said, a lot of our cigar enthusiasts and nerds have known about this brand, but they got acquired by Oliva, and they're distributing the brand. So they're really making a big push in distribution. And I think there's several reasons for that. You're seeing kind of a void right now in cigar accessories. I mean, you have like your really inexpensive Firebirds. You know, that's it's a line extension from Colibri. That's like your very basic, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, look, this is one of the Firebirds we have. So we're not, just because we say it's less expensive or cheap, it doesn't mean it's something that's not good. It's just everyone has their preference in price budget, and we carry, kind of like your value entry kind of prices. We have your middle grade, and then we have some of the very ultra high end pieces. So we will accommodate any budget. But what I mean is, like, I think Le Fin Lam is trying to kind of get that middle to upper range in quality and price point. So if you don't want to spend the money on say like an SD DuPont, which we carry, or some other high end pieces, but you don't want to go necessarily like really cheap in terms of the price, especially if maybe you're looking for a good gift, but you don't want to break the bank, I think this is a company to consider. And we have, I think, 4 different items. So this first one is the Le Petit cigar knife. This other one is called the Le Tag. And so this is kind of interesting. Some people might get a chuckle out of it, but it looks like a dog tag. And I think the thinking was they wanted to offer some sort of cigar cutter that you could wear and just make it easier for you to carry around. But I'm sure you can even take this collar piece off. Maybe not. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But it's a really beautiful blade cutter. I thought it was a single blade cutter at first, but no, it's actually, I guess, more of a double blade. Even though it opens like a single blade, but it's got a really smooth action, clicks in pretty tightly, but you'll open one and then insert your cigar in the hole and just slide right across, and it clicks in really nicely. And we have 4 different finishes. This one with the gold accent, they call the champagne. We have a green that looks kind of like a military green. I think there's a blue and a red that we have. Yep, blue and red. And these retail for $90. So, yeah, definitely like an elegant piece. Almost reminds me of like an old Dunhill or Davidoff cutter. And so they call that the Le Tag. And they have a punch bracelet. So if you're into, like, I've seen like the Room 101 type of jewelry pieces. I don't really wear that kind of fashion accessory, but they have like really cool like bracelets. It feels like it's unisex too. So whether it's male or female. But what's cool about it is that you can unscrew it and there's a punch cutter in it. So one of the selling points from Le Fin Lam is that this is a cutter that's actually TSA approved. That basically you can carry with you if you're flying and traveling. And let me just pull up the information about it. It's a sharp punch cutter hidden in an adjustable beads bracelet. The easiest cigar accessory to carry around, reinventing the cigar smoker every day. One size fits all. It's a 7mm punch made in France from 316L surgical stainless steel. And it's the only cigar cutter to pass airline security check. So it's a French Revolution in cigar accessories. Okay, that's just the kind of information about Le Fin Lam. And just some other information about this company. One of the points they make, it's an item that's been sold in over 600 points of sale in 42 countries around the world. So it's really it's becoming more of an international brand. But yeah, I think the fact that it's made in France with that focus on quality, I mean, it's you're getting value for it. You know, it's not just a made in Chinese kind of quality accessory. That, you know, a lot of these pieces I've found from, you know, that country of origin, they just don't last. Not to say that this is indestructible. You know, there's going to be some wear and tear, but in terms of like the quality and the craftsmanship, it's definitely up there. The other accessory we have here is this kind of cool ashtray. So this one is, they have a single and a double cigar holder ashtray. The one we have here pictured on the show today is their double blue ashtray. But I'm just bringing up the information about it because I found it intriguing. So basically it's inspired from wabi sabi, which I didn't know what that was until we were looking into this ashtray. But essentially wabi sabi is the Japanese philosophy of like finding the beauty in imperfect things. So it's kind of an actual style that originated in Japan, or at least the philosophy of it. But here's our selling points. The beauty of a humble material that tells the story you create with it, with simplicity and newfound balance. What could be better than to pool these precious moments of calm and sharing? A harmonious moment between two reunited parties, the double cigar rest. Durable and high-performance mortar, trendy by its mineral aspect. Every piece is unique, carefully crafted and handmade in Paris, France. So yeah, it's almost, I don't know, it's like it's a stone. I guess it's like a concrete, but it's really heavy. Nice felt lining underneath, so you can kind of gently put it, you know, on even a hard surface. But definitely one that could withstand the outdoor elements. I wouldn't necessarily do that though, but you could take it out with you, or at least don't leave it overnight. But it looks like withstand some like the rain without getting too much damage. And we have those for sale for MSRP at $83. So yeah, look at Le Fin Lam. We'll have it listed on our website by the time this episode is published. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked to be carrying Le Fin Lam. It's one company that I've personally have kind of admired since they were released. We just never made the jump just because there wasn't, I guess, enough awareness. We just weren't sure. But yeah, once Oliva bought the distribution rights and the company out, yeah, we know that they have a management team behind this brand, and will continue to basically market and distribute this brand and just create more of an awareness with cigar fans. So that should conclude kind of like the summer update, mid-year update. Like I said, we've been busy too. Besides just receiving some of these new cigars, we've been involved in several events. For example, we did something with Ducks Unlimited a few weeks ago for the Louisiana State Convention. We haven't really done any cigar tasting or events, especially now with the heat. It's just too uncomfortable. So just be on the lookout. We were supposed to have something, but I guess it fell through. Maybe in the fall we'll pick up again with some of these cigar tastings. But yeah, I mean, some cigars are, you know, still seeing some of the back orders. Not as much though now, it seems. That seems to be getting a little bit better. But yeah, it will be interesting to see right now, I think, for retailers, the amount of specials that these cigar manufacturers will be offering in the next few weeks, now that the trade show is not going to be in the summer, and they're going to have to, I guess, maintain some of the sales quotas from last year. Before I finish, I'll just kind of give you my little update tasting profile of this closing time circuits, even though I didn't really give it enough proper focus as usual when I'm alone smoking. But yeah, to me, it's definitely not overpowering nicotine wise. Almost has like a more of a white profile, almost like a baking spice to it, but not overpowering. It's not like black pepper. Definitely more like velvety of a profile. I don't want to say cream, but like it's definitely not like char or oak or burnt or like coffee or espresso, like those kind of like darker black notes. But yeah, I think it's appropriate. The brand name with the blend and the profile. So definitely worth trying out, especially if you want like more like a suave, like mild to medium strength. And this would probably be good right before bedtime. So with that, yeah, I'll conclude today's episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you're interested in purchasing from our online site, go to shop.habanaport.com and look in the description of this episode for one-time free shipping discounts. So with that, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.